Adrian Henri lived during the peace movements of the 60s and also during World War II. Because of this, his poetry reflects many of the ideas. Because of such a catastrophe that the nation went through, what followed the war was a peace movement. He lived in the time period of Liverpool where society was rapidly industrializing. Without living in such a richly artistic area of the world, Henri may not have been this popular. Liverpool went through such a revolutionary era that things were rapidly changing. Ideas of peace, new art, and music became popular, setting the stage for such an amazing writer. Not only was Henri a poet, but a painter and a musician too. He was very well known for his band called the Liverpool Scene. At performances, he would recite his poetry through song. He was much like more commonly known artists such as the Beatles because they too emerged from the influx of new art in England. Like those other famous musicians, music and literature gave him the chance to express himself. In 1970, he said, "I was trained as a painter and still paint and exhibit paintings. I make a living primarily by performing the works that I write, mostly with music. I think of myself as a maker and presenter of images in various media. Pop poet is, I think, the most common label." End quote. Pop poet is an interesting label because terms more commonly used would be pop artist or pop musician, but Henri was really one of a kind. This is his poem entitled Tonight at Noon. Tonight at noon. Supermarkets will advise 3p extra on everything. Tonight at noon. Children from happy families will be sent to live in a home. Elephants will tell each other human jokes. America will declare peace on Russia. World War I generals will sell poppies in the street on November 11th. The first daffodils of autumn will appear when the leaves fall upwards to the trees. Tonight at noon. Pigeons will hunt cats in the city backyards. Hitler will tell us to fight on the beaches and on the landing fields. A tunnel full of water will be built under Liverpool. Pigs will be sighted flying in formation over Woolton, and Nelson will not only get his eye back, but his arm as well. White Americans will demonstrate for equal rights in front of the Black House, and the monster has just created Dr. Frankenstein. Girls in bikinis are mood bathing. Folk songs are being sung by real folk. Our galleries are closed to people over 21. Poets get their poems in the top 20. There's jobs for everybody and nobody wants them. In back alleys everywhere, teenage lovers are kissing in broad daylight. In forgotten graveyards everywhere, the dead will quietly bury the living. And you will tell me you love me tonight at noon. My favorite part of this poem is that he uses such interesting scenarios to describe his relationship. At the end of the poem, the listener really understands what Henri meant by all the nonsense he mentioned, including how the title itself is impossible. What he means is that none of those things would actually happen, and the ones he loves will never love him back. The best part is that he never actually says it, and that by hearing the rest, the listener is already sympathetic. Certain images, like elephants will tell each other human jokes, or pigs will be sighted flying in formation over Woolton, or even the leaves fall upwards to the trees, all show crazy ideas. In a way, all those things that are impossible are metaphors of the possibility that the other person would love him back, which is none. To Henri, clearly his loved one loving him back is just crazy. Towards the end, each line gets shorter and suddenly gets long right before he says, "You will tell me you love me." This truly makes this line a climax because it builds up the tension to that point. The lovely repetition also contributes to enhancing the poem when he says, "Tonight at noon," again and again.